Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for round number 3 of season 15. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix from the Albert Park circuit here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. I'm your host, Zach Siege, and joining me once again is season 11 Drivers Champion Touchy Pope. Pope, welcome back. How you doing today, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm excited.
I think that's the feeling around the paddock today. Obviously, a track which was very hard to drive last year due to how the cars worked and how traction worked in particular. But we're in a new generation of F1 games, it seems like, and with our drivers still getting the grips to racing after we saw quite a few crashes out last race at Jeddah. Hopefully, we won't see as many, and some close racing is what we want to watch.
Definitely, I completely agree with you there. And of course, nothing could be closer than our Drivers' Championship right now. Top 5 drivers in the Championship covered by less than 10 points, and it's 15 covering the top 7. So we've got a pretty entertaining fight for the title so far.
Oh, definitely no, and TJ leading it currently with Sniper Hunter, who stood in for me at the end of the last season after my injury. So looking really good, looking to see different people at the top. However, Grumio taking a win last time out in Jeddah, going to be trying to make up for the DNF that was in Bahrain.
Definitely, of course, he's closed that gap. He's third place in the Drivers' Championship, 7 points off the 2 leaders. We're looking at those 3 cars in particular, but keep an eye out for C110P fan and for the rookie Badman in the Red Bull. It's on its outlap as it stands. We've got the last few cars coming through, the first few cars coming through to the line. I believe Ethan is leading them round. So, Pope, do you want to take us on a lap of the Albert Park circuit?
I would love to, mate. Coming through the final corner, turn 14, very hard to make sure you get the foot planted as quickly as possible. The car just wants to slide out. Heading into turn 1 and 2, the small chicane, you see a lot of collisions here, but Ethan using the curb on the inside and the Astro on the outside, ready for the first DRS section of the track. We have 3 here in Australia. Coming into turn 3, hard right-hander brake, widened up last season, and then turn 4 once again. Sweeping corners round here, not many hard braking opportunities, making it very hard to regain your ERS. For my favourite section, 6, 7 and 8 all blend into one. Flat to the floor. There we are for this big back straight, which has another DRS zone here. This is where we normally see cars going side by side, and probably on this year's game be overtaken before the dreaded chicane. So hard to get right. 9 and 10. Ethan using all the curb on the outside there. Lovely for the last DRS zone of the lap, and coming into one of the hardest corners, turn 11 now. Different braking zone to what it has been over the past few years. Coming into 12 and 13, hard braking zone once again. The braking zones are very hard because you're not foot to the floor on the brakes. It's very hard. And through turn 14, back on full throttle. ERS is draining, your tyre temps are burning. Crossing the line, and we're going to get a 1:18.3 as the fastest lap.
Well, good lap for Ethan to open up qualifying. And Pope, thank you once again for taking us through that. As Dan goes fastest in the Red Bull, Ethan's lap immediately straight, and Lucky goes just a bit faster than that in the Ferrari. So 3 very quick times, dropping like flies ever so quickly in at the start of this qualifying session. I see his teammate JB coming towards the line to start his first flying lap. I see one of the Alpines coming through. That's Salve Grumio, last week's winner, who goes on provisional pole. 1:17.1. I think, Pope, that would be the early benchmark tonight.
I think it might be the late benchmark as well. That's a stonking lap there by Grumio. 8 tenths faster than P2, which is now Ericsson, who's put in a great lap time. They feel quite close, but Grumio, once again, as he's shown season after season, been able to just get pace where no one else can.
Definitely. Badman goes 4th there. He's had a fairly solid start to his rookie campaign. He's had 24 points from 2 races, which is an impressive haul for someone who's new to the RDL scene. And I'm not sure about Badman's experience in league racing so far. I'm not sure if he's competed outside, but if he hasn't competed outside of this league, then I dare say he's off to a flying start.
Oh, most definitely. He's been very, very impressive in his few races, and it's allowing Red Bull to be a dominant force in the Constructors' Championship as of now. Got 3 teams that will be really sparking it out, maybe even 4, with obviously the disappointing result in Jeddah, where both Mercedes did not score any points. However, we know how quick they both are.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing those two get it together in this Grand Prix. Hopefully, of course, that pairing of Fan and BJ won 2 of the opening 3 races in the championship, and BJ took victory in this race last season after a very tight battle with the now retired Landlord, who of course was teammates Grumio last season. I'm waiting on Snipe Hunter's come through. He's on his first flying lap here. So we'll see what he can do to try and match his teammate. We're looking to match TJ in particular. Those guys will be about 5 or 6 tenths off of Grumio from their first laps alone. So everything to play for behind the Alpine. But aside from that, it's looking mighty close so far.
No, definitely. That's what we like to see, especially on a circuit which has obviously in past seasons been quite hard to overtake, but with this new generation of how the cars working in the DRS in particular, I think we're going to see quite a lot of overtaking, and obviously turn 1 is always chaotic as per, so I think we'll see a couple of moves be made into there.
Definitely. As a random ball, Lucky Lambert here making his way towards that right-hander of turn 11. But you mentioned it on Ethan's lap, but if you go over that red curve, that's practically death for you. You can easily find yourself off in the gravel there. I've done it quite a few times myself, so I know from experience. We're hoping that we don't see anyone do that today.
No, of course not. It's a horrible thing when you hit a curb and it just shunts the car completely off direction. You're obviously trying to extract as much pace as possible. However, I feel like some of the curbs are really, really dangerous. I think we had this conversation at Jeddah where the curbs are just becoming a bit too aggressive for these cars, and it's making the racing quite hard.
Definitely, we do enjoy seeing a challenge for our drivers. And speaking of challenges, Sniper Hunter, the championship leader, providing an early challenge to his championship rival TJ, going second fastest, but still half a second behind his teammate. As they see a car from the gravel there, that's one of the Williams cars. That was Websy, who's on his outlap and making his way back onto the track. And we've got a car spun off as well. And I believe that is that's not JB. Sorry, that is Lucky Lambert who's going around. He's lost his front wing too.
Yeah, that corner always being a pain to get the grip. You're racing through those quick turns, and you can just lose the back end. The car is not stable enough for you to put the foot to the floor. And I think that's what's happened with Lucky. So it's a shame for him, but he's got enough time to go into the pits and get a new front wing. So we'll be sure to see him back on track. He's in P5 now, which is really good for that Ferrari.
Definitely solid start. 5th place in the Constructors' Championship as of right now. 10 points from the opening 2 rounds for the Scuderia. So Lucky Lambert in 5th right now, and JB currently sitting in 9th place. Still got 4 cars who yet to set lap times. Courtney Goblin yet to set when he's in the pit lane, so that's nothing new there. Webb's on his out lap, but he's making his way through to start his first flying attempt. Evil Scotsman in the Aston Martin, and PJ Khaled in the McLaren is on his out lap. PJ currently running 8th in the championship, 9 points to his name from these first 2 rounds, in front of his teammate Ethan.
Yeah, PJ is the point scorer for the McLaren team. Only 9 points, McLaren, and PJ, like you say, getting all 9 of them. So Ethan's looking for a big result here today, and it's something that I think the team wants. But a team that desperately needs at least that point is Williams. They've been complaining about the lack of pace in the car. The driver's trying to do the best, but you can see going through turn 1 and 2, the Williams is just not looking stable enough for these drivers. So something's really got to change there.
Definitely, we'll have to see if they can get it together over the course of the rest of qualifying and of course the race itself. I see Ethan come through to the line now to complete his next flying attempt. His best effort so far was that 118.3 we saw him set at the start. It's now a 118.302, so he's improved a little bit, but he stays in P9, which is a little bit close to BJ in 8th place, and in front of him is the 2 Red Bulls of Dan and Badman. Lucky Lambert in 5th, Ericsson running in 4th for AlphaTauri, TJ 3rd, and the 2 Alpines sharing the front row. Grimio back up on the racetrack, but his lap's invalidated, so he's got to go back round and try again, but he's not under too much pressure right now.
No, definitely not. Something I do want to pick up on is the Mercedes of BJ. 118.1 on those medium tyres. We know that even when they were both drivers racing for McLaren last season, they like the different strategies. They like something a bit more on the edge, and I feel like that is still showing, even though they have changed teams. But he is now out on the soft, so we'll see a more representable lap time, I think, for these Mercedes.
We'll have to wait and see. And I also saw a car across now. As Webbsy's gone P8 here, so it looks like the Williams team have got things together, especially after the spin he had on his outlap on his way back to the line to start his first flying run. He's got time for another one here. 8.5 minutes still to go in the session. Will we see an unexpected appearance from Courtney Goblin out of the pit lane like we sometimes do on those rare occasions? Evil Scotsman charging towards the line, looking to set his first invalid lap. Is 1 minute 18.5, which puts him just in front of his teammate, the Top Cat.
Yeah, Aston Martin, once again, I think in a very similar predicament as these Williams. They do have a point on the board, though, which is good for them, but I think they are definitely going to be wanting a little bit more pace shown out their cars. But if any track for quite a lot of DNFs and a lot of action, I think Australia is the one.
Definitely. I mean, like I say, again, it's a very entertaining race last year between between BJ and Landlord. Those two pushed the snot out of each other over the last couple of laps or so. So it was very entertaining. I don't remember if you drove in that race, but I'm not sure if you were there. But it was very entertaining for at least where I was sitting.
Yeah, no, I remember you making mention of this before we went live about how exciting it is. And obviously I've been racing more times than not here at Australia, so it'd be nice to see a different perspective. But yeah, no, I don't think I was racing. I think that was after I've just broken my finger, so I don't think I was able to race.
No, that would this would have been earlier in the season. And
Was it?
Yes, you weren't injured until later on. We're talking around like Japan, USA sort of time.
Oh, I thought it was earlier. Late on in the season, I felt like it was added on. That is, yeah, I've completely gone. I've got a few seasons back there.
No. The added one. I remember added ones were Portugal and China. I think so. That's why it's a bit longer.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So Australia was always part of the schedule. I think I'm thinking of 2021, where Australia was like late on for us.
Yeah, that's all. Every season blends in for one.
That was,
it's just continuous racing.
that season was your substandard title defense, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was it's horrific. We don't
bring that one up. All right,
yeah, we don't bring that one up.
Well, speaking of challenges, I see Snipe Hunter who went 10th up in the first sector. Not enough to catch his teammate just yet, but he could be in for a good lap. We'll see what the split looks like when he comes out the second sector going into the chicane at turn number 9. Oh, he's almost 3/10 up now, so improving a bit. Looking to try and solidify a second place in that front row lockout for Alpine. But you can tell he wanted to try and close down his teammate in this final sector. We'll keep an eye on him here.
Yeah, no, Sniper's shown fantastic pace as of recent. So let's hope he can actually put a challenge. He's really got into his own in this year. He's been putting a lot of practice, a lot of effort, and for Team from Enstone, Alpine, they'll be really, really happy with this. So let's see as he crosses the line, where will he be? 3 tenths up at the end of sector 2, and he's just 2 tenths behind Grumio, which is, I think, shows the pace. And like I was saying, I think that 17.1 is going to be very, very hard to beat.
Definitely, I agree. It's been very close, and Grumio's back out on the red track himself to have a go at trying to beat his own best effort. We'll see how that turns out for him. I see Badman coming towards the line here to start his next flying run behind him. One of the Ferraris, that is JB, who's coming across the line, running P12 at the moment. So he's got some work to do here in these last 5 minutes or so, but I think he can probably try and drag it back. Fan is there in 14th place, but half second up on his previous effort as it stands. So we'll see what it looks like when he emerges in this final corner here. He's going a bit wide there. Oh, brushed the wall to touch. Might shave him for 10th or 2, but it's enough to improve for P9. Put him just in front of his teammate BJ.
Yeah, Fan who's been really racing at the top of the grid as of recent. I think he'd be pretty disappointed with that. Obviously, a little mistake in the final corner, so hopefully that's time to strap on another set of soft tyres and give it one last final go.
Definitely, because you said earlier about that pairing that was in the McLaren last season, Fan and BJ. They do like their use of tyres in terms of when they go from in qualifying, in particular when they set their banker laps and stuff. Things off. Curtis going P5 there for Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is, as of right now, they're not as high in qualifying, but in the race they're holding a serious challenge. Could they hold a candle to Alpine this season? That's what I'm asking.
I would like to say so. Obviously, it's very hard when you've got Grumio and the emerging Sniper Hunter who are looking so pacey as of now. However, Grumio's the F1 race, so it's always got that thing. And like I was making mention to, TJ and Curtis are so consistent. So hopefully that pays for them. See JB P3. Wow, what a stonky lap time from that Scuderia Ferrari.
Fantastic lap, absolute statement there from the Ferrari driver. Of course, looking to expand on those 8 points he scored. Badman running in P4 right now. So TJ and Curtis have now fallen down the order quite dramatically here. I'm seeing clouds starting to form over the Albert Park circuit. I'm not sure if we're going to see rain over the course of this Grand Prix. I'm sort of hoping that we don't, because this track is quite entertaining on its own in the dry. And I wouldn't argue quite the same in the wet for someone who's driven the wet on this game, on this track. It's not the most exciting thing to be driving at all. I'm watching Websy here on his way through the third and final sector, running in P10. I see both Mercedes cars outside of the top 10 now, so they need to get back out there, bolt on a fresh set of softs so they can go for one more lap.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Cottony, I think, staying in the pit, so Williams keeping that car in, letting Websy use the track time. Not surprised, as you mentioned to Cottony, stayed into the pits, but will Websy be able to improve on his lap time?
Whoa!
P3!
Where did that come from? From Websy?
Just less than a tenth on the Sniper Hunter, who's holding a serious challenge in that Drivers' Championship battle so far. this is going to be a very tasty end to qualifying. I was going to make mention to how the track evolves around the circuit. It's a street circuit. It evolves rapidly. The rubber means everything. And I feel like at the end of this thing, we've got serious work to do, because I feel like everyone will be changing at least one position.
Definitely. And I'll be honest, I'm seeing a few cars out of place on this grid, but in quite a positive way, if I'm being honest. So obviously, Websy and JB in 3rd and 4th, make that 3rd and 5th, because Ericsson's just gone 4th fastest. He's doing quite well for himself as well. Of course, former race winner in the RDL. I'm seeing obviously the Mercedes cars down the hill. They're going to want to try and come back. The 2 McLarens as well. You never know, the 2 Aston Martins. We could see something there as Top Cat doesn't send PJ out onto the grass, but PJ has to move out the way to avoid running into the Aston Martin driver there. Enter the last 2 minutes of qualifying now. Gremio's still on top with that one opening lap, but he's got a fresh set of soft tyres on. He's going for one more effort to try and wrap this thing off. And Snipe Hunter's still in the garage right now, so he needs to get back out there if he wants a chance at setting a final time. And Webb's into the pit lane. I think he's pretty done. Ericsson is still out on the racetrack, and he's not improving though, so he might also be done during for this qualifying session. I think a lot of cars aren't going for their final runs here.
No, maybe because there is a bit of rain on the horizon.
Oh!
That's why everyone's staying in the pits. That is crazy. So maybe I spoke a bit too soon, and maybe you were correct about the clouds coming over the circuit and giving us a little bit of rain. So I think, depending on how heavy this hits, we might actually be done for qualifying, and that's a Williams in P3. They're going to be so happy with that.
Essentially, oh, Gremio goes very close to piling into Dan there, who retired from the session. I'm not sure if that's some straight white shock or not. That must have been quite scary to see the Alpine come charging up behind him. Yeah, you see, I do agree, but the rain is really starting to fall here, and now Gremio's retired from the session while still on the track. So yeah, so you are right. It's more or less looking at the end of qualifying here. So no one else will be coming out of the pit lane here. So I think those guys who chose to stay in the pit lane. As Courtney Goblin, oh my goodness, he's emerged on soft tyres in the wet. One of the first times in ages we see him emerge on the racetrack, and he's on softs.
I mean, go on, Courtney. Do as your best. I mean, it writes itself, doesn't it? It's fantastic. But yeah, obviously a lot of drivers now retiring from the session because they know they're not going to improve. But the Mercedes team are going to be kicking themselves after the pace they both have. They know they both have. Being wasted coming out on soft tyres in wet conditions. They will definitely be having words with their team about that.
You can definitely see the rain starting to build on the racetrack here if you have a good look at it. Wow, that's very, very graphical to me. I've never really noticed just how much the rain graphics have improved in recent years, because you can really see it. You can actually see the rain actively falling on the racetrack so much more than you could before. I've yet to actually see light rain on this here. I've only ever seen heavy rain, which is annoying. Charging towards the line, Courtney Goblin. We'll see where he comes out. It's going to be P18 as expected. So Gremio then on pole as the checker flag now falls on this qualifying session, and once again it's all Alpines in the front row.
A fantastic result there by Alpine, really showing their hand at this grid, and I think they are definitely the ones to expect to seal the Constructors' Championship. But like we keep saying, beware of that Alfa Romeo team who are so consistent in the race.
Caught out a bit by the rain here, but TJ in P7, and as of right now Curtis in P10. That should remain the same as he comes into the pit lane to cap things off. Right, only cars left on track. We've all passed the second flag, so once the Alfa Romeo pits, then it will all be over. We're getting ready for what should be a very exciting race. Could we see rain during the Grand Prix, do you think, Pope?
Let's hope that we don't, like you say. I think this track is really good dry, but it might be a side of things to come, I think. So, but then again, looking at the lap times, they're very low. I think they are very low lap times, so I think definitely people are sticking to a dry setup.
Definitely have to wait and see just what happens here. About half a second or so covering the top 7, so close qualifying in that respect. All in all, 5.5 seconds to pole position, and the last time, which is obviously set out in the rain by Courtney Goblin, who lines up 18th for this one. So before we wrap off the intermission, we'll go to have a look through your top 10 going into the start of the Grand Prix. So we're looking at Gremio and Snipe Hunter on the front row once again for Alpine. Websy in 3rd place, fantastic qualifying. Ericsson in 4th place, JB 5th, Baba in 6th, TJ 7th, Lucky Lambert 8th, good qualifying for Ferrari. Red Bull Daniel Aaron in 9th, and Curtis Shepherd rounds off your top 10. So that is just the top half of the grid for the start of the Australian Grand Prix, round number 3 of season 15. Don't go anywhere, we're back in a few minutes for the start of the race. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the third round of the Racist Driving League Season 15. It's the Australian Grand Prix here from the Albert Park Circuit. Once again, myself, Zach RC, and our Season 11 champion, Pope, taking us through all the action after what was a quite fantastic qualifying session. Pope, the rain has cleared, the skies have opened up once again, and we're in for a good race today.
Yeah, looking like a very, very dry race. It is looking hot here in Australia, which could be something that affects the strategy. We've heard drivers complain about tyre temps in the practice session that was before the qualifying. So I think we've got to keep an eye out on the strategy. I think obviously it's the one thing I love as an ex-driver, love looking at stuff like that, but I feel like it's something that's going to be quite important to keep an eye out.
Definitely. So before we get into the race itself, then we'll take a look at your starting grid, the full starting grid for this race. So lining up in pole position, it is last week's winner, Salve Grumio, and joining him on the front row is his teammate and tied championship leader, Sniper Hunter, in the other Alpine. Websy lining up in third place, fantastic qualifying for him, and one of two starters on the soft tyres today. Ericsson lines up in fourth place for AlphaTauri, who sit dead last with him and Che in the Constructors' Championship. Che, of course, still not here as of yet to make a start this season. JB lines up fifth, leading the Ferrari lineup today on row number 3 on the hard tyres, and Badman, who sits fifth in the championship, lines up alongside him on that third row. TJ, the other championship leader, in 7th place, and alongside him Lucky Lambert in his third race back with us in the OEL. Dan lines up in 9th place, Curtis rounding out your top 10, both of them starting on mediums, and behind them the two Mercedes cars, Lockout row 6, C110P fan and BJ both on the medium tyres. Then it's another lockout behind the two McLarens, Ethan and PJ on row 7, row 8 again, and an Aston Martin lockout is Scotsman and Top Cat. Scotsman, one of the second car on soft tyres, and running off the last row of the 18 cars is Angry Scotsman and I've just clocked there's two Scotsmen in the race today. I've only just realised that. Is that bad on me? Probably. And Grumio has spun it on the way to the grid.
Oh, so yeah, it's a bit worrying there for the Alpine driver. Getting grass all over the tyres, that might affect his race start. So Sniper Hunter and Websy probably licking their lips right now at the sight of that, but a bit worrying there for the Alpine team. I'd be keeping an eye out on that, and it might be something to do with tyre temps, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we do have two Scotsmen, Angry Scotsman, making his return after many, many seasons out, so it'd be nice to see him back on the grid.
I never even realised that there were two Scotsmen, because how long ago must this have been? This must have been before I even got here.
Yeah, that was like they left when I started like racing. Like it was fucking ages ago. Pardon my language.
You know, I've never had the actual confirmations to what season you started.
Same. I don't know it myself.
Oh,
Evil Scotsman the spin just then, right before the pit lane. So, couple of drivers spinning. This is weird sight to see on a formation lap, but maybe it's drivers getting back used to having a formation lap. We've not had it for a whole year.
I know. I've definitely missed it. I'll say that. Courtney Goblin taking the last spot on the grid. We're getting ready now for the start. 5 red lights here down under for the Australian Grand Prix, round number 3 of the season. And it's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Good getaway from Websy in second place. Looking to try and swipe the lead if he can off of Grumio before turn 1. Websy up into the lead for the Williams team. JB into third place. Number of disqualifications for the back. What on earth has happened back here? Number of retirements.
It's going to definitely have to be a restart.
I dare say something has gone wrong here on the formation lap. And I see a Haas car in the back there. I think we spoke a bit too soon in terms of issues. But I just want to say, regardless, Websy on the start, shooting away. Virtual safety car has been deployed, and we're going to wait for the word here if we get to get a full race restart.
The grid's out.
And there it is. Yep, there's the confirmation in the Discord. Right, so let's go back to intermission. Unfortunately, Websy, sorry mate, your brilliant start has to be neutralised. So we'll have to come back to you guys in a few minutes. Apologies for that. We'll get back with you as soon as we can for the start. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the apologies for the intermission. The game decided to be the game, but this time we're back with it now. Had to have a lobby restart. We are in for what should be, as I say, another entertaining race. Pope, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first start was hindered by a game issue. However, we did see something which was quite extraordinary. A Williams leading into turn 1. Can we please have something of the same sort happen again? But we never know. The tyres are going to be different on this restart. Everything can change, but I'm very excited and I'm still raring to go.
Definitely, the energy has not dropped since we went away from your screens. We are back now and just waiting to get underway. Hopefully this time there'll be no issues in particular, and we'll be able to have a good race. Looking forward to this one. Of course, last season, as we mentioned already, was a very exciting Grand Prix. BJ taking the win after a close fought battle with the now retired Landlord. I'm looking forward to seeing who can challenge the 2 championship leaders today. Of course, the early front runners, there's 5 of them so far, if we had to put it simply. Just in terms of points, 9 points cover the top 5. TJ and Snap Hunter sit tied. Grumio sits 7 back. Fan sits 8 back after his win in Bahrain and subsequent retirement last week in Saudi Arabia. And Bad Manus, who I think has scored in both races. No, he's currently running in 5th place on 24 points, 9 points off the top.
Yeah, Badman has scored in both races, that is for certain. And we are now on the broadcast formation lap.
And we'll talk over Crofty, and we'll look at the tyre change. It looks about the same as it did last time. So no one's really going for anything different. I still only see the 2 soft tyre starters. Keep an eye on that for Webbsy in particular off the start, because that must have been also another factor in how good his start was last time around, given he's on the soft tyres compared to Snap Hunters mediums and Grumio's hards.
Yeah, obviously the tyres are crazy. You can see on the screen. Well, hopefully you do. You see the race strategies. Around lap 12 to lap 19 is our pit window here today. Lap 12 for the softs and lap 14 for the mediums, but obviously people will be extending in that. But the high chance of a safety car here today, so that will most definitely affect strategies if it is called out. But I am very, very excited to see how this race start goes. Hopefully less glitches than the other one.
Definitely, and as the last 2 cars set in places on the back row of the grid, we look to see for the lights, waiting to see who can go out on top on the start. So here we go then. 5 red lights. Grumio and Snap Hunter on the front row. It's the Australian Grand Prix for the 2nd time. Round number 3 of the championship. And it's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Another good start from Webbsy there. Charging through the middle to try and take the lead away from Grumio going towards turn 1. He will take the lead once again. Webbsy emerges and he leads into the first corner. Grumio behind him. JB now up to 3rd. And there's a big kerfuffle in the back. Several cars off onto the grass. Webbsy leads. Grumio trying to come back at him though. He's going to look to the inside if he can. Going towards turn 3. He muscles away inside. Going into the right-hander. Webbsy holds him off. Around the outside there's contact. Grumio keeps on the track. JB looking, trying to pounce in the distance. Yellow flag for the back. And that is 2 cars. That is the 3 cars, sorry. Angry Scotsman involved. Fan is around. And Ethan involved as well. But what a start from Webbsy. He leads the way.
Yeah, fantastic start by Webbsy. Great defence from the raring Alpine right behind. And also another great start by JB, but someone who's lost a dramatic amount of positions is Snipe Hunter. A terrible start for him.
JB looks to the outside.
But yeah, JB trying to make a move around the outside, holds back. I think JB knows that maybe he won't be able to keep up with Grumio the entire race, even though his qualifying pace was fantastic. But he knows if he makes a position now, he might be able to defend off it for the future. But you see, Dan and the rest of the medium runners could be closing up on them 2 shortly.
And for the first time, we see Webbsy coming through to lead a lap here in this Australian Grand Prix. Coming off the final corner, everyone's starting to settle in now for lap number 2 of the 29 that make up this Grand Prix. Grumio running in 2nd, about 6 tenths off the lead. JB a further 6 or 7 back in 3rd place, Dan about 2nd back in 4th. We've got a lap still until DRS gets deployed, and Fan further back there, 6.5 seconds off of Ethan, who is just there behind Angry Scotsman, 3 seconds behind the lead pack. So a lot of chaos in that first lap, and everyone's starting to settle in for the race ahead now. So we'll wait to see what goes on, mainly in this battle for the top spot here.
Yeah, no, it's a shame that we couldn't actually see what happened at the back of the grid, but they all know that there's a long way in this race to go, and you never know what can happen, so there's no point of backing out now. But yeah, the Mercedes team, I keep getting them 2 confused. I think they'll be quite disappointed with how the race start has gone for them. But seeing JB drop back a bit from Grumio, which is allowing Dan to fill his rearview mirrors, will he be able to make a move into turn 11? We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see what Dan chooses to do off the exit Gets a better run than JB. It goes, oh, almost losing the car a bit. That gives Dan all the insight of the world to go charging up the inside. He's in front of the Ferrari before they even reach turn 11. Good move there. And there, I saw Curtis moving around big time there behind them, trying to hold off Ericsson going into turn 11. Badman just there in front of BJ, and Sniper just, as you said, Pope, back there in 11th place. He was kind of swallowed up on the start as his teammate currently sits in 2nd place, and his tied championship rival there in 5th it stands. As it stands, I think we're looking at TJ taking the championship lead outright, but that could change if Grimio takes the lead on lap 3, and his task could be a lot easier now because DRS is deployed for the first time today. 3 DRS zones on this circuit, so we'll see what defense Websy has this time.
Yeah, this battle between Lucky and Sniper is fantastic, giving them enough of fair racing room. It's probably one of the closest battles apart from the big train that's being formed behind Curtis. It's looking like it's going to be a very, very close battle, like we saw at the first few laps of Jeddah, but it might spread out a little bit later on, but let's hope not, because it's fantastic racing by all these drivers.
Definitely. Well, 3 laps in, we'll look at your position changes so far, but first we'll keep an eye on Grimio here as he sits half second back from Websy. He's closing that gap, but not enough to go for it into turn 9. Might be looking for something out of turn 11. Websy needs a good exit here to keep himself in front of the reigning champion. Off the corner they come. Grimio with a decent exit, but not enough to close up. It looks like Websy's going to stay in front for the time being, but I have to be careful down the main straight because I could tell you that Grimio will go for it. In terms of position change so far, as of right now, the biggest gainer is Dan, who has gained 6 places. Courtney Goblin's gained 5, as I see JB go wide and TJ gives up his inside for P4. And the driver who's lost out the most, as expected, is Sniper Hunter, but a C110P fan's lost 7 places himself. After the last corner then, to start lap number 4, we'll see what Grimio can do down this main straight. I don't think he's close enough just yet, Pope. We'll have to wait another corner or 2 to see him go for it.
No, this is the issue with the overtaking around the circuit. There's only very certain places where you can overtake, and you need the most perfect runner. You see Grimio not getting it through there, the dirty air, making his car wiggle a little bit, and he's just not close enough. So Websy might be in a bit of a predicament going into turn 9 and 10.
Oh, yellow flag for the back.
A bit later on, but ooh, yeah, that's, Evil Scotsman having a bit of a spin there at the exit of turn 2. A really tough corner. He's trying to turn it around, a little clip of the wall, but needs to make sure he rejoins safely behind C110P fan, and he does. Shame for him there.
Definitely, and also allows C110P fan up to gain his 1st place today, as Grimio's again 6 tenths back, having another go at Websy. He needs a better exit out of turn 10 this time, so you just see what he can do off the corner and going towards 11. Again, he's close up to a decent amount here, but Websy holding on to the lead right now. He's done a good job so far. If Grimio can get a good exit, which he hasn't done, then Websy will hold on to it for a little bit longer here, but don't count out the record champion just yet. Regardless, he's got no pressure behind him. Speaking of pressure, though, I see again there goes BJ to the inside of Curtis that goes side by side, almost a bit of contact into turn 11 there. I see JB going way offline, almost allowing BJ in, but he's currently trying to get back around. Ericsson will go there, goes to the AlphaTauri, and that was a nasty hit for the water. I think he's lucky to still be in contention there. That was a horrible hit for Ericsson off the corner. He's got a bit of room now, so he can rejoin the race back in P14. Has to be careful of Ethan coming through into the penultimate corner. And he might try and get back on just in time to get in front of the Scotsman.
Just looking at the lead here. Grimio going over the inside of Websy, and that is it. That is Grimio ahead of Websy, but Websy will be able to hang it on the inside, trying to make a switch back. No, the tyre's just giving up there. Grimio making a fantastic move into P1, and he's going to try and extend that lead as quickly as he can. Such a shame for Websy, but I think those soft tyres are already looking a little bit too hot for this circuit.
We'll see what Websy can do in response here. He's already 8 tenths back. He'll get DRS, so he can have a chance to try and close some of that time back down. The longer, if he can stay as close to Grimio as possible, then that could help him going towards that the first and what could be only pistol of his race. But he could be looking at 2 stops, considering he started on the softs and how quickly they've worn out so far. So he could be in trouble here. The start he made was fantastic, but I dare say it could be the end of the dream here for Websy, who sits in 2nd place, but 3 seconds in front of Dan in 3rd.
Yeah, just looking at this battle for P6, it's just fantastic. These drivers are really squabbling here all over the track, using every little inch of it. JB falling back in line behind Badman. Sniper Hunter, who is obviously, like we say, tied as P1 in the championship. Not having a good race so far, getting stuck behind this traffic, something that he definitely does not want to do. But this has just been a fantastic race. But even though Websy's lost P1, I think the Williams team are going to be happy that he's still in the points running positions.
Definitely. Speaking of trying to score some points, there goes Badman trying to score some more. Look, it's the outside of Curtis at turn 1. Not the best place to go for it just yet. Maybe you have to wait for it just a little bit longer. He's looking around, darting from side to side, trying to find an opening, but JB might get to him first. Not going to happen. Badman to the outside, going towards turn number 3. Looks upstairs, going into the corner. Curtis defends that brilliantly. Badman trying to switch back again. Curtis shifts across and keeps him behind. Fantastic racing here, as you say, Pope. And JB and Sniper lurking just behind, waiting for any opening they could get as JB closes in once more. All this is allowing BJ, who's gained a number of places so far, to get away. He's trying to work on chasing down TJ, who's got a front view full of Daniel Aaron in 3rd place. And I see Sniper passing JB here around the outside, going towards the corner. And now there goes Batman to the outside, going towards the chicane at turn 9. And both of them intent on swallowing up BJ and the Mercedes here. Has had a terrible exit. Those two go side by side through the chicane, and both of them get away relatively unscathed there. Badman maybe with a track limits warning, and Sniper Hunter looks to try and take them both if he can get close enough. Not a chance. No DRS to his advantage. Keeps JB behind, and Badman on the inside. There's contact, and both of them are keeping it on the track. JB trying to move around, trying to find an opening, but Sniper looking to take another place, and he will take another place off of Badman, who finds himself off in the gravel, or nearly off in the gravel, and JB lost about a fantastic lap or so here, and Curtis getting away. Sniper, though, emerges in front of JB and Badman. What a show that was. Oh, yellow flag.
Fantastic. Ooh,
Safety car's out.
Oh.
That's a crash for Lucky Lambert.
Oh, it's a shame for Lucky. Has he got any damage? Can't quite see it on the car. Yeah, his entire front wings off. So, and that's Ethan's as well, both front wings off. So, I'm going to peel into the pits. Very weird timing. Yeah, helps Ethan Scott's who did have a spin on that last lap just at the exit of turn 14, so he's been quite happy. But maybe Websy might think about pitting onto a set of hard tyres. That's could possibly happen, but like we were saying before the race, a safety car was definitely in doubt.
Definitely, yes, and yeah, we'll definitely get one at some point today. 6 cars in the pit lane as of right stands down right now. Ericsson back out, Scotsman followed by Angry Scotsman, Ethan, Lucky, Simonton, P-Fan, and Evil Scotsman out dead last. He's not into a stall yet. He's looking at a fresh set of hard tyres to try and take him to the end of the race on those. I think that'd be the plan for these safety car pitters, except for Ethan, who's gone to another set of medium tyres. Perhaps looking at another stop towards the end of the race.
I mean, it could work out. Could be another late safety car or something like a VSC or something like that. Might be in a good gap. So it's not a terrible decision to go on the mediums, but I think hard tyres is going to be the primary choice for anyone else who pits. We'll
see what the two leaders choose to do here. Now, Grimio could stay out theoretically. I don't think he's going to. He's going to come into the pit lane here. Yeah, I think the majority of the field make their compulsory pit stops now. So we'll see where the two leaders emerge. Webb's trying to close up as much as he can in the pit lane. He does close up a decent amount there over the championship leader. And here comes Dan here into his pit stop for Red Bull. Soft tyre's gone onto that car, and hard's gone on Webbsy's.
Yeah, expected there by Websy, but a very unexpected call by the Red Bull team. Definitely planning on something there to put Dan on soft. Maybe he's expected another safety car. I'm not too sure, but very weird. But you see PJ in P2 now. That's going to really, really benefit Grumio as well as JB not making a pit stop. Obviously, both on hard tyres, so you wouldn't have expected that on either of them. But Grumio still keeping P1.
I thought we do sometimes see this with some drivers in particular. I do notice PJ often gets involved in the if he starts on hard tyres, and chances are if a safety car comes out early on, he's going to try and take track position over fresh rubber. But Grumio, good job from him to just to narrowly get out in front of both those two cars. Well, Websy is now stuck back in 4th on a fresh set hards, but he's now got a fresh soft tyred Red Bull breathing down his neck. That's Daniel Aaron. And I've just noticed both Red Bulls have put on those Red Bull tyres. So what are Red Bull planning here, Pope? What do you reckon?
I'm not really too sure. I think this is a really different decision. I think they're going to be on to mediums a bit later on, but it could just be to cover off the hard tyres becoming a bit too fragile in the last few laps, and they want to be on a fresh set of mediums. And if these hard tyres do have to stop due to risk of puncture, they'll be on fast tyres and they'll be able to take track position. That's my only guess.
Fair enough. I mean, your word counts a bit more than mine. I'm no strategist myself. But we'll see what the Red Bulls have planned for after the restart. And in particular, I'm looking forward to seeing how PJ and JB do up towards the front of the pack.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sniper Hunter is someone to watch out of. He made 2 fantastic overtakes just before the safety car came out. So someone who we know has pace. He is the leader of the championship, tied along with TJ, of course. So I think he'll be exciting to race against Curtis, who is obviously TJ's teammate and going to be wanting to defend his good friend and his teammates' honour as P1.
Definitely. I'll have a quick calculator of the current standings for the top 3 drivers in the championships. As for right now, Sniper Hunter will be sitting on 35 points. TJ is in 6th place, so it'd be 41 points for him, which means that Grumio, as it stands, leads the championship on 52 points after taking, as it stands, if things were to end here, it'd be 2 first places and 2 fastest laps from 3 rounds. That retirement from Bahrain clearly not phasing him much so far.
No, definitely not. It could have done it. Very, very well could have done, because it was something obviously not any driver wants to start with, a DNF in round 1. Trust me, I know. Does not really bode well for the rest of the season. But he's took it on the chin and he has moved on and is showing his pace, which he always has every single season.
Definitely. We'll see how he handles the 2 cars behind him on the restart, who may have something up their sleeves for him. We'll see if Websy can come charging back. We had to hold off that Red Bull that was just behind him. I'm keeping an eye on the Alfa Romeos and of course Sniper Hunter as well, as he tries to come back through the field. So we'll have a look in terms of position change from this Grand Prix so far. So now, as it stands, the biggest Joe has gained the most places is actually PJ, who of course stayed out in that first safety car that's coming in this lap. And Joe has lost out the most, as it stands, is Ericsson, who runs back in P9 after the runs back in P13, having lost 9 from his original starting place after the pit stop. So we'll see just what goes down here between everyone in the pack. Now, Grumio will have to think about where's the best place for him to go, because I don't remember him leading a restart in this race last season, so I have to see just what the plan is. But I remember seeing a McLaren up front, so we'll see what the plan is for them. And a Ferrari in 3rd, that's JB there in 3rd place, Websy 4th, and Dan rounds out your top 5. We'll have to see when Grumio chooses to go. I dare say he might try and go either off of turn 13 or going through the final corner.
Yeah, I think it is turn 13.
There it is.
That engine wobbling those tyres through, making sure they're warm, and yeah, right through. Look at that gap he's already built. That is fantastic restart there for Grumio. 1 second in it, with JB breathing down PJ's neck. Not a great restart from the rest of the grid. No real close battles or side-by-side action into turn 1, but I think they're all going to settle down now and just try and keep their noses clean until a little bit later on in the race where the gloves come off.
JB to the outside, so the gloves come off. They come off a bit earlier than you might have thought, Pope. JB looking to the inside at turn number 4. I see Dan behind him trying to get involved in the action. Websy trying to maintain position. And there goes Dan through to 3rd, and now looking for 2nd off of JB as well, going through the right-hander. Fantastic fight back from the Red Bull, who's going side by side with the Ferrari, and he's up in front of JB. 2 places gained. And I dare say, wow, Grumio with a 4-second lead already. This is one of the best restarts I've seen in quite a while, thanks to the squabbles. And it's all going on behind the race leader. Look how close everyone is right now. PJ down to 5th, down to 6th, and could be 7th too if PJ gets him. What chaos here. There's a moment in contact there. PJ off onto the grass, has to rejoin. He might fall down out the points completely here. And is there some kind of problem? PJ's gamble's not paid off. He's now sits outside of the points. A nightmare lap after this restart from McLaren.
Yeah, not a great. Very hard to keep up to everything. I'm still new to this commentary scene, so it's very hard. But Websy making a move round the outside of JB, or trying to at the least. Look at the grip the tyres have compared to those old hards. It's ridiculous. Like say 4 seconds down, but Dan closing that gap in as best he can. Dan using those soft tyres to his advantage. As Websy is trying to defend, but BJ going down the inside of Websy as well.
Oh, contact!
Collision! Oh, 3 cars involved. TJ, JB and BJ all getting involved from that move on BJ down the inside of Websy. Spin it in ever so slightly. That was a beautiful angle on that, but not a beautiful incident for any of those drivers. All those drivers are going to be absolutely annoyed now, because I think quite a few of them do have damage.
The 4 Js on the grid, all involved in instant. TJ, BJ, JB and PJ all have problems here, because PJ's coming to the pits here for a fresh set of soft tyres to get himself back in the running again. But it's 20 seconds back as Sniper Hunter looks to take courtesy for P4, and he will take courtesy for P4, and Badman charging back there as well. Those soft tyres and the Red Bulls are doing their jobs as it stands right now, but Dan is not closing that gap as fast as he might have hoped here. He's still about 3.8 seconds back, Grumio, but is not putting out a lead as much. But yeah, he'll be on those medium tyres compared to everyone else on hards. So I'd say he's in a brilliant position. Again, perhaps one of the best restarts I've seen in this league ever, if I'm being entirely honest.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic restart there. Really well timed and definitely favoured with the intense squabbling behind. But now everyone's going to try and close up the gaps to each other. Obviously, Sniper's going to be chasing down Websy as best he can. And it's crazy how the Red Bulls have performed on those soft tyres, but how long will it last is my question.
Hopefully we'll get an answer for you in the coming laps or so. I see Badman is trying to close on Curtis. It'll get DRS this time. JB with the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As I see Fan looking to get back in the points here, going side by side with Top Cat for the first time today. C110P Fan is back inside the top 10. Will Top Cat try and come back at him? I think Lucky might try it first. And there goes Ethan around the outside. Ethan, of course, was involved in an incident earlier on, and now getting himself back into the action and back out. Of course, those two were colliding earlier on in this Grand Prix, and that's what brought up the first safety car. We didn't quite see the incident there, so apologies on our end for that. But regardless, though, these two try to come back and closing up on the points paying places.
Yeah, someone who's really paid off to have these safety cars in these incidents is Evil Scotsman, who spun right before the first safety car, and now all of a sudden is in P14, so really good for the Aston Martin. And the other Aston Martin of Top Cat, just on the edge of the points, obviously being overtaken by Fan, but looking a little bit better for the Aston Martin team.
It's looking good for Red Bull too. I just seen Badman overtake Curtis for P5, so he managed to get his man in the end. He'll start working on Sniper Hunter, who he'll have DRS off him off the final corner. And Webbsy, of course, in a world of his own. Dan is really not closing that gap at all on Grimio. Grimio's maintaining it. He's not getting away, but he's just simply maintaining that gap for now, and he's doing a mighty fine job of it as we near the halfway stage of the race. We're not even halfway through yet, but there's still about 16 laps to go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that safety car has slowed off a lot of time, it feels like, but it gives us some more stuff to commentate about on it, which is fantastic. It's been a crazy watch so far. The driving has been spectacular, apart from the very few incidents we have, but now the drivers are starting to pick up penalties. This track is notoriously hard to keep within the track limit, so your feed will be swamped soon enough with those black and white flags, but that will not affect any of the racing, I'm sure.
Hopefully not. We'll see just what goes down here. Badman will be the first car in the field to have DRS, so he's trying to close down on Sniper Hunter with those already fast, soft tyres. We'll see what the plan is for him to try and close up to the Alpine in front. And we'll see just how close he can get. It's about 7 tenths back as it stands. He's got Curtis about 7 tenths back from him, as BJ passing Courtney Goblin, who's up in the points right now. So good race for him so far. And Ericsson back there in P9 too. Look, he's trying to close back in. Courtney Goblin has no help here, no DRS to his name. Ericsson has all of it. Up the inside he goes for turn 11 and looking for P8. Goes over that red curb just a little bit there. And Courtney Goblin stays side by side, but Ericsson gets back in front. Oh, contact!
Oh, contact!
And they both go. Oh, and there goes Fan!
Oh, Fan.
And only a
victim
safety
in that
car.
situation. Oh, wow. I will not be surprised if it gets transitioned to a full safety car, but we see Ethan peeling back into the pits again. Not too sure why. Maybe to get on some hard tyres. I'm not too sure, but Fan just unlucky in that situation with it was Courtney and Ericsson tapping each other there. That was such a shame for both of them because they were doing fantastically well to try and keep that battle as clean as possible.
He won the season opener in Bahrain, but season 15 has not been a positive start for C110P Fan, despite sitting in 4th place going into today in the championship. I dare say he's going to lose a number of places to the cars behind him, in particular Badman, Curtis and Dan here. Grimmer's now put up to about a 6.4 second lead as it stands. So he's increased that gap even more. And Badman will be all over Sniper Hunter on the restart. So we'll see when we plan to go racing once again, because it doesn't look like we're getting transitioned at all here.
No, definitely not. And it's just Badman might be close to Sniper Hunter, but will he be able to keep those tyres in a good range? Obviously cooling off now, but the terms of tyre wear range to make a move on Sniper.
You know, I do find it strange that a collision that just took off two front wings brought us out a safety car, but yet a 3-car collision with a car crashing out didn't. So yeah, that's just F123 being F123. So we don't question that too much. And DRS redeployed, and Grimio now pulls back out to his 6-second lead as we get back underway here on lap number 15. So nearing the halfway stage, or more or less at the halfway stage of the race. And we see Sniper Hunter looking to get away from Badman as best he can. Those soft tyres no doubt be running their course as it stands. Curtis back there in P6. So as of right now, then Grimio still leads the Drivers' Championship by a dominant margin to Sniper Hunter, who needs to take second place to keep himself close to his teammate in the championship. Of course, coming into this, I think he'd need second place to sit 1 point behind, if my maths are correct. But TJ perhaps in a bit more trouble here, running back down in P14. He's got work to do now to get himself back up the order.
Tell you someone who is in trouble is Ericsson. He's just spun on the exit turn 2 there, so not looking good for him after that collision with Webbsy. And now Ethan, who pitted under that virtual safety car, where Ericsson collided with Courtenay, is now right up behind Ericsson himself. So Ethan, if there's something goes on a little bit later on in this race where drivers need to make some pit stops or something like that, Ethan's in a very, very good position to capitalise on that.
Definitely, them fresh mediums most likely may not take him to the end of the Grand Prix. He had to manage them very well in order to get that to happen. I see the 2 Aston Martins there who just run inside the top 10 as of right now, but that could change because Courtney Goblin, look, made a big contact there. And surprisingly didn't get DRS, despite being right behind the Aston Martin, which was strange. Perhaps he wasn't that close when the detection zone was, when they went through it. But he's going to try and make a move now. Never mind, looking back into line here behind Top Cat, who currently sits in the last of those points paying places. Courtney Goblin looking for an opening of some kind and might get off this last corner, looking to the outside. Not quite, man, to switch back again. There he goes, and now taking full advantage, goes charging through down the main straight, side by side. I think Top Cat's using his battery, and he is using his battery, but it's not enough to keep the Williams behind. Move Courtney Goblin into the top 10. It'll be scoring points as it stands. It goes a bit too deep in turn 1. Top Cat comes back at him now.
It's a fantastic battle between these two teams that are desperate to get some points on the cards, and in a race like this where there's some big names not scoring points, you need to take it to full advantage, and Top Cat and Courtney are trying to do the best as possible to do that, and it's been fantastic to watch.
Definitely, I dare say, save for the 2 Alpine cars and perhaps the Red Bulls, and the Alfa Romeos obviously, there haven't been a ton of big names this season in particular. I mean, it's been fairly mixed if I do say so myself. As JB sets the fastest lap there, so that'll snatch the fastest lap from Grumio crucially. So that'll bring the so if Sniper can take away second place from the 2 cars in front of him, then that'll put him tied with Grumio in the championship. So it's not over yet for Sniper.
No, definitely not. But Grumio will pretty much take that out-and-out lead just because of the amount of race wins that Grumio has compared to Sniper Hunter, which I think Sniper Hunter still sits on 0 race wins here. So for competing at the top of a championship table with no race wins in the RDL, it's very, very impressive.
Consistency is key over the course of a championship season, regardless of league or motorsport. If you ask me, at the very least, I think that comes across sport in general. But Sniper Hunter, though, as you say, looking to close in. If he can take a win at some point this season, then I'm sure he'd greatly enjoy that. And we'd love to see a new winner in league racing, as I'm sure many of you do watching at home. But we'll keep an eye on him closing in on Websy, because those hard tyres, both of them been on hard tyres the same amount of time. And Dan's softs here, I dare say they've probably done their job at this point, because I doubt they can stay off much longer. Sniper Hunter goes to the outside of Websy and makes the move for P3, puts himself back up into the podium places. And now looking to use that DRS to close in on Dan as well. And he is closing on Dan very quickly here. He's already back within DRS range. So we could see a move potentially down the main straight at best. We'll have to see how close he gets this time. We'll keep an eye on him here.
Yeah, Sniper has really picked up the pace so far, making sure he can, but it looks like that Williams is struggling once again, as we keep making mention to. They were complaining about the lack of pace of the car, and though Websy's doing a fantastic job at driving that car to the best of his ability, it is looking a little bit of a handful here. But Alpine, speaking of handful, Dan making a mistake going into turn 13, and he goes into the pits to get rid of those soft tyres, which have definitely done their course on 9 laps. Most definitely. And you see now we've got an Alpine 1-2, which is no surprise to anyone.
At least in the early rounds of the season, that is. And we see, so Sniper Hunter's back into second place now, and as it stands, if he was to then swipe the fastest lap somehow, then he would hold the championship lead by 1 point over his teammate. And we'll keep an eye on TJ here. He's still back down there in P13, but crucially, if he can close up to the cars in front, then the number of cars with penalties here, especially just outside of the points. So he might make a place or two there.
Yeah, I think this race is very much far from over. As you make mention to the penalty situation, and we've already had a safety car and a virtual safety car. It can happen again so easily, so I wouldn't say anyone is out of the question yet. However, my money is on Grumio on taking this race win, holding an 8-second gap to his teammate in P2. He's looking very, very dominant.
Indeed, it was a very close race. Yellow flag in sector 1, I believe that's just a car going, so no issues there. Might have been Ericsson coming out of the pit lane. But as you say, Pope, definitely, no one's won this race just yet. Long way to go. And Grumio will definitely have to pit to go onto another set of tyres. But I dare say he's probably looking at a set of soft at this stage, because it's getting towards that point of the Grand Prix. You can go on the mediums for a bit longer and make the change. But if a safety car comes out, that throws everything up for everyone. So a chance that we'll see everyone dash into the pits for softs or mediums, and there'll be a full-out sprint to the finish where anyone can come out on top.
Yeah, no, Grumio obviously probably be wanting another safety car just to solidify a bit more, but we know how good new tyres are compared to old tyres on this year's game. It's so different in terms of pace, about 4 seconds faster over a lap. It's genuinely crazy, so even with Grumio having to pit, I still think it's in very good contention to win this race.
Definitely. If it were to go fully green until the end, then Slime Hunter could make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Yellow flag for the back, and that is the Aston Martin Avil. Scotsman has gone around. He's lost his front wing. No safety car, which is to be expected. He rejoins in P13. I feel bad for him now, Pope. He's got to go a whole lap without a front wing on that car. We'll lose a lot of time, and we'll have to pit when he comes back round.
Yeah, no, it's a shame for Evil Scotsman. He's really struggling to keep that car in a straight line as of now. So it'd be something that the Aston Martin team will probably be talking to him about, making sure the setup is all good for the next race next week. But yeah, real shame. And like you say, he has to go a whole lap with a broken front wing, just losing countless time.
Definitely, of course, looking forward to next week's race, which is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which returns to be the 4th round of the championship in 2023. Grumio now into the pit lane here, and Lucky Lambo's out of the race. That's a safety car.
Fantastic timing for Grumio to go into the pits as he gets away with Lucky having an incident and bringing out a safety car. It's such a shame for Lucky, who I've been teammates with. Lucky. He's a fantastic driver, and I don't really quite know what's happened. I think that's just a typical turn 10 spin, which is just a shame. And it's a shame for the Ferrari team, who had a really good start to the race. All turned out to be quite a negative race here in Australia.
It could be a negative race for Dan too. He just got a drive through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So the Delta has caught him out, unfortunately, which has happened to me before, I must say. So thank God for flashbacks in that respect, especially when I've been playing offline by myself. So we're seeing, Websy could not come back into contention. He's on a fresh set of medium tyres. Slime Hunter's on soft here. Grumio's made a choice to go on medium tyres to the end. They'll definitely make it to the finish line. There's no doubts about that. But Slime Hunter, Badman, BJ Curtis and Dan, they're all looking at soft tyres for the end of this Grand Prix. As there are a number of cars behind them here. So whether those soft tyres will last all the way to the finish, we'll have to wait and see. But I dare say Grumio and Websy are the most maintainable position. So if Websy can stick with Grumio on the restart, we've got a good chance at a late fight for position.
I mean, between us, didn't Dan pit lap 9 on those softs? Like, for his 9th lap? I'm pretty certain he did.
I'm pretty
so
sure
they're really
pushing
the boundaries with that, and I think there's going to be countless fighting. I don't think the softs is a great decision here by a majority of the grid. I mean, if they're watching the stream, they can get my strategic input. I think mediums are the way to go. I think you're really pushing it. I think the close battling, how high the tyre temps are going to get, we are going to see close battling now for these final 9 laps of the race. So I think it's really risky to go on softs. It might pay off for them, I won't say it won't. But like you say, I think Grumio and Websy are definitely the most likely to keep good tyre pace throughout the rest of the race.
And keep an eye on Top Cat 2, runs in P9, but could improve on that place if those soft tyres start to fall off earlier than expected. That'll be the crucial thing. When do the soft tyres start to drop off? It depends on how much you can manage them towards the end of the Grand Prix. And in terms of your strategic input, Pope, I do agree with you, but I think it's probably a bit late now if any of the drivers are watching the stream, because everyone's made them will be most likely be their final stops of this Grand Prix short of damage. So we're just waiting now for the rest of the pack to come back around. I dare say we could get racing this time. So we'll have about 7-8 laps to go when we get the green flag to bring us to the end of this Australian Grand Prix. It looks like Grumio is still the overwhelming favourite to win this race, but it could be any of those cars behind it. Anything could happen on that restart.
No, exactly. It's never over until that checker flag falls, and I think Grumio is definitely favourite for this because his pace has been fantastic throughout this entire race and even through qualifying. So he is becoming a dominant favourite, like per usual, for the record holding champion. But I'm really baffled about this decision to go on softs as well. We had a virtual safety car in that time, so they are really pushing the boat out with these softs, but it'll make it more exciting for us, no doubt.
Definitely, I hope make it exciting for you viewers at home as well. If you are new to the IDL and this is your first time, welcome along. This is about more or less about what it's normally like. So if you are enjoying it, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more RDL content. Because we'll be getting shorts out and perhaps a few other videos during the week. Potentially video too in the week about if you guys want to see highlights of this race, then let me know and I'll be able to get those made for you guys. And if you guys do enjoy Pope, then please go down in the comments and tell him to never leave the comments box for Monaco, so he chooses to stay because we do appreciate having him on here. He's had a fantastic start. So yeah, now we've got a little bit of appreciation out of the way, we can hopefully get back to racing as JB is closing up to the back of the pack and just in time for us to get on the way again.
Yeah, is the safety car in this lap? I'm not too sure. The lights are still on, so I think we have
get
another
it. I'm not
lap.
sure. There we go. Yes.
Oh no, we do get it. Very, very late call there.
Oh.
I would be very angry in the cockpit of that car right now because my tyres would definitely not be warm enough for this restart. But like I say, tyres on skates, it's going to be very, very exciting for these drivers.
Oh, what's gone wide there? But Grumio's not gone yet.
Oh, he's going to... Grumio is about to go now. So he's set off Websy. Good restart. Someone in the pits. Who is that? Dan in the pits.
He's drive for penalty. He got speeding. And back underway here. And Websy's keeping with Grumio very nicely here. Back underway on lap number 22. And we'll see what the soft tyres can do on this start. Courtney Goblin with the penalty. Top Cat with the penalty. Both of them for track limits. Snipe Hunter's trying to stay close to Websy here. Snipe Hunter, crucially, we're looking to perhaps finish second and swipe that fastest lap to take the lead of the championship outright for the first time in his RDL career. As of right now, Grumio holds it. And he's looking to try and pull away here. He's got 6/10 on Websy. But if he can stay close to the leader, then we could have some bit more fun when DRS comes into play.
No, definitely. I am just suffering from severe audio issues right now. So it's like, if you don't mind just taking the reins as you normally do, just for the next few moments, because this is hurting my ears.
Fair enough. Snipe Hunter goes to the inside of Websy, and Grumio is quite slow here going towards turn number 9. What's going on here for the race leader? He has problems of some kind. TJ passing, Courtney further back, Websy holding on to 3rd place, Badman and BJ going back it for 4th place. Snipe Hunter closing in, trying to swipe the lead from his teammate. Those soft tyres doing their job as Top Cat makes the move on Courtney Goblin. Now looks to try and take TJ as well. The Aston Martin going at it, and there goes Courtney Goblin sitting in there just behind them in P9. The two Alpines looking to pull away here. 7 more laps to go in the Australian Grand Prix when they cross the line. Grumio about half second in the clear. Snipe Hunter, not a great exit at all there. He needs to use some of his batteries to keep himself in the action here as he goes to 7 more laps to go. I see a car in the pit lane. That is BJ coming into the pit lane. He may have just disconnected there. Snipe Hunter swipes fastest lap. That's enough for the championship lead right now, by just 1 point over his teammate, who's still on those mediums and trying to pull away as best he can here. And Websy's not too far behind either. He's still sticking with the Alpine, and Badman there in 4th. He's got Curtis behind him in 5th, and TJ back there in 6th place as well. So those top 6 cars, no penalties to their names. And Dan is coming back down into the pit lane here. He's got a problem. I'm not quite sure what it is. Let's see just what is going on for him here. So no, he's also back out again. I think after having just served the other drive-through. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, keep pushing on here. No DRS just yet. But half a lap or so to come back into play. Websy closing on Sniper Hunter. The top 3 have got away quite nicely here. And Badman still just about in DRS range in 4th place, but falls out of it just there. And Curtis and TJ will be threatening him for an awful lot of points here in these closing stages. Websy is sticking close, tight to the Alpine of Sniper Hunter, and Grumio is not getting away at all here. I think he'll be hoping that Sniper's soft tyres drop off, so he has no challenger to the race win. But even then, Websy's still there behind him, looking to try and swipe a podium finish. As Courtney Goblin passes PJ for P9, and Ethan back on the points now. There goes Evil Scotsman looking to the inside, trying to make something happen. No chance for him. He stays in P11, and Ethan with a poor exit of the last corner. Grumio now sets the fastest lap, and this is where things get interesting. Curtis sets the fastest lap now. So DRS is now deployed for the once again in this Grand Prix with just 6 more laps to go in this race. JB passing Evil Scotsman in the race for P11, and as of right now, Grumio is getting away, but it's not enough right now. He needs a couple more tenths to keep himself out of DRS range and try and gain the win here. And Websy will be looking to try and get back around Sniper Hunter for 2nd place. Badman will be hoping to hold off Curtis by trying to get in the range of Websy, but you'll need a mistake from the Williams going through these next couple of corners, and he might have just got one there. But Websy's a bit too deep, but he's lost a bit of time to Sniper Hunter, who will narrowly get DRS on his teammate. This race isn't over just yet.
No, Websy making a fantastic ploy to push the Alpines as fast as they can go, and I think he's trying to get Sniper to battle Grumio, maybe to slip up the inside and take that P1, but Websy's done fantastic to keep the pace with his soft tyres, and I don't think the soft tyres are really paying off with the majority of these drivers, which is making a fantastic battle between them when they are so close, just like Ethan is close to Courtney, trying to take P9 in the race, as PJ is trying to take P8 from... collision!
Contact!
Oh,
He saved it though. Good
so
save. Top
tight. Yeah, fantastic. Incredible save there. But that's really hindered Ethan, who is dropped back down to P11.
Oh, and there goes Evil
JB.
Scotsman going for it again.
Touch, yeah, these guys are really scrapping, but Grumio just set the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:19.9. Fantastic lap time there by Grumio, which is giving him another full 26 points as it stands.
Definitely, and we see Sniper Hunter still awfully close to him there in 2nd place. And I dare say, Pope, if Websy is trying to get those Alpines to battle, he's done a mighty good job of it, because I dare say that Sniper's getting closer and closer to his teammate in the race lead. Could we see the Alpines go at it again on the final lap for another fantastic end to a Grand Prix like they did last week? I certainly hope so. I'm hoping to see someone come out on top in this battle between Top Cat and Ethan. It's Top Cat, Ericsson and Evil Scotsman sit just behind them there. Aston Martin trying to swipe some points off the table here. And Sniper closing in now on Grumio. The two Alpine title rivals looking to the inside. There goes Sniper Hunter underneath and takes the lead away.
Fantastic move there by Sniper Hunter, but now he has to be able to gain on
He is gaining, look at that.
Grumio does not have DRS, so it's not over till it's over. We saw how it felt.
Yellow flag.
Yellow
Ethan.
flag at the back. That's Ethan spinning round. Another bad weekend there for Ethan. Ethan, just a bit annoying, but he's right on the racing line there. That's a very, very bad place to have a spin and try and rejoin, which has hindered Angry Scotsman, but I don't think it is over for Sniper Hunter and Grumio. We saw it last time, but Sniper Hunter taking the fastest lap away from Grumio with a 119.6.
That'll move his championship tally up onto 59 points, which will be enough to hold on to the championship lead outright for the first time in his career. TJ will most likely end this race in third in the standings, unless he could get caught by a bad man if he gets another place or two. But that might be a shit too far sail, because Websy is keeping up with his Alpine pair. If these two collide, then Websy's in prime position. Has Websy ever won this league before?
I'm pretty certain he has won. Yeah, I'm not too sure when or how or anything like that, but I'm pretty certain he's won. But I'll tell you someone who has won before is Grumio many times, and he's just shown how he can do it with the pace of that Alpine as he passes his teammate, and he's going to have DRS once again through the exit turn 10, using his battery and the DRS to extend his lead, already up to 0.5 of a second. It just shows the actual pace that Grumio is holding back sometimes when fighting these other drivers until he really, really needs to.
And not only the pace, but tactical acumen there as well. He's kept himself behind, and then he had enough DRS to then pull away on the exit as well. That was the crucial thing, because he's managed to pull out an advantage now, back up to how it was earlier. And I don't know if Sniper Hunter's soft tyres have what it takes to respond here, because he's falling out of DRS range, and he's just swiped the fastest lap as well, which might just spell the end of the matter here with 3 laps to go. But Sniper, if he can close back in, then I dare say he's still got a good chance. I'm keeping an eye on Websy there, who is more or less on for a podium, but might try and swipe a second place finish if he can get Williams a couple more points in the table.
Nah, I think there's more chance of Websy taking P2 than Sniper Hunter taking P1. But I think that's just because of the tyres just crying now. The temps are going to be so high. Like the driver said, they struggled with them in practice. I cannot understand how they're going to be struggling with it in a race when they're battling other cars 110%. But JB making a great move there on PJ to take P7. He's going to try and extend as he can.
Sniper didn't get DRS that time, so gives Grumio the chance to pull away, but he's not pulling away. Sniper Hunter's closing that gap rapidly here. Has Grumio lifted, perhaps, in that corner? Is TJ passing Badman and Curtis passing Badman too? Double team on the Alfa from the Alfa Romeos on the Red Bull. That honestly didn't sound right. I apologise for the somewhat fruity reference there. That wasn't what I intended at all. Grumio though, half a second back from in front of Sniper Hunter as it stands. This race isn't over just yet.
No, definitely not, but I think look at the energy deployment that both the drivers do have.
Oh yes, you are right. I see it.
Brings in favour of Grumio. So bearing in mind it's not over, we will probably see the red light flashing of a Sniper very, very soon, but I think Websy's now just ploying now. He's going to be planning for probably the last lap to maybe able to swipe P2.
If Websy in the unlikely scenario could swipe P1 here, that could be one of the best final lap overtakes I've ever seen in RDL. As Top Cat retires from the race, he may have had to leave potentially. Hopefully that won't jeopardise anything for the race leaders. Hopefully they can just despawn the car and there won't be an issue there. Websy's closing in on Sniper Hunter, who's closing on Grumio too. So is Grumio trying to help Sniper Hunter maintain P2 before trying to pull away from with the victory? Because we saw him lift this time around a lap ago, and now Sniper's closing in because I don't think he knows that. I think he's going to try and go for the lead if he can.
No, definitely. I think Grumio is playing smart. We know he is smart, but yeah, see Sniper lifting there, taking tips off his more experienced teammate of Grumio, making sure he is behind for either this corner or the next lap. But looking down the inside, no, he stays behind. But Websy getting so close between these back of these Alpines. He's really done a massive one here for Williams, who has scored some fantastic points here today.
Double points it stands if Williams can hold on for the next lap or so. Honestly, going on to this final lap, Grumio might try and pull away now with all the ERS he's got, but I dare say it's anyone's race. As we start the final lap of this Australian Grand Prix, anything could still happen. In the RDL, it can sometimes, but Grumio is in front and looks on course for his second win in 3 races. But Sniper Hunter, if he can close up enough, might try and get him back.
If they can, but I think Webbs is going to try and go for a move here. Will he go down the inside? No, he stays behind. Either planning for turn 11 or even turn 9, but this is so exciting. Those soft tyres are definitely wearing through now. As you can see, Grumio just extending, using all of that energy as much as he can. But you see that red light flashing of Sniper Hunter ever so shortly. But Webbsy picking up a 3-second time penalty.
Oh,
that
no.
is not good at all. Just going wide there through turn 7.
And that maintains a 1-2 for the 2 Alpine cars. As it stands, Webbsy will still finish in 3rd place because he's got 4.5 seconds on TJ. So he may try and go for something last minute on track, but I don't think he's got enough left in the tank. Sniper Hunter definitely doesn't have enough left in the tank. He's given it a fairly solid run. Grumio has now used up all of his battery. So I dare say the race is over here, ladies and gentlemen, as Grumio will be coming through. Bradley Studd's the fastest up to his name, which he does with about half a second over his teammate. Grumio's going to come through to swipe the championship lead by just 1 point as he rounds off the final corner, making his way towards the flag. Sniper Hunter's team about a second back to bring home another Alpine 1-2 to maintain their grip on the Constructors' Championship. Grumio wins and takes over the lead in the top spot in the standings. Sniper Hunter home in second. Webbsy with a fantastic podium there in 3rd place. Alfa Romeo keep themselves close to 4th and 5th for TJ and Curtis. The championship fight not over yet, not by a long way. Badman, another fantastic race in 6th. JB towards the line for 7th after the chaotic race he's had. PJ Khaled will take 7th in the end thanks to penalties. Courtney Goblin 8th, and Ericsson will snipe a place over all of them, finishing 7th. PJ in 8th. Evil Scotsman now 9th, and Courtney takes the final points paying position. BJ 11th, JB in Enkan finishes in 12th. Ethan will come home in 13th place for the penalties here. Angry Scotsman 14th, and after a race that could have gone so well for Red Bull, and Daniel Aaron, that drive through. Oh! DNF there for Badman again.
Yeah, it's the same thing as happened to last season. Definitely will be P6 there for Badman, as it was last race where we saw the same thing. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, like you were saying, a really good race for Red Bull, or what could have been a really good race for Red Bull with a different strategy, just really did not pay off with that drive-through penalty for Dan.
Definitely not. I hope to come back stronger next week. But there's your championship leader, Salve Grumio, who wins for the 2nd time in 3 races. Sniper Hunter bringing it up once again in 2nd place. Those extra points from Bahrain, keeping him 1 point back in the Drivers' Championship. TJ won't be too far behind either, but he'll be a bit further back. I think he'll probably be about 5 points back as it stands. So recovering to 4th place in the end. So all in all, a fantastic race. I thoroughly enjoy that.
Yeah, no, it was really good watch. The drivers putting on an absolute show for us, an absolute classic in the RDL with some of the closest racing I've seen around this circuit in a very long time. But yeah, Alpine looking very strong and looking like the strongest pairing and the strongest car that we have on the grid this season.
So yeah, then Grumio takes his 2nd win from 3 races to hook onto the championship lead. He holds it once again for the first time since Brazil last season as the celebrations begin on the podium. And Webbsy again, fantastic podium for him. We'll be very pleased with that. I had to try and get a chat with him late on in the race. Well, later on, it's in a few minutes' time for the interviews, and we'll see just what goes down for those guys. But all in all, a great race, and we'll get those interviews going as best we can. And I finally get to see results this week. So Grumio wins the race, Sniper Hunter second, and Webbsy on the podium in 3rd. TJ 4th, Curtis follows him home in 5th place, Ericsson 6th, PJ 7th, Evil Scotsman in 8th, Courtney Goblin in 9th, and BJ swipes the final points paying place for Mercedes. And it's JB in 11th, Ethan 12th, Daniel Aaron in 13th, 14th goes to Angry Scotsman, Badman in 15th in the end, but finished in 6th on the racetrack, so we'll have to move him down a place for that. Top Cat in 16th, retired with a few laps to go. Lucky Lambert and the C1 MP fan, both DNFs. And that is your race. So we'll get into the post-race interviews now, if we can. We've already got Webbsy here, finished in 3rd place, so we might as well come to him first since he's there. Got Sniper Hunter in 2nd, so we'll come to him just after that. So Webbsy, I'll bring you in first then, mate. You want to unmute yourself just for us? Can he hear us? Hopefully he can hear us. Any sign of him? Alright, if not, we'll go to Sniper Hunter. Sniper, can you hear us, mate? Are you there with us? Is he there either? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Alright,
Sorry, mate, I was muted.
Oh, okay, all right. So we'll go to. So we say Websy first. We'll go to Websy. Sorry, Sniper. Let's meet up for a minute. If that's all right.
Okay. Cool.
So Websy, then, well done. Then third place, mate. First podium of the season. That was quite a good race for you there. Talk us through it.
Yeah, just really enjoyed it. I was obviously I've been away for the first 2 races, so I've been away for 2 weeks. So I was a bit worried about kind of getting a little bit behind, if you will, from everyone else. But I was kind of struggling with a little bit of a setup, and anyway, yeah, it just came through. And the safety car, the first safety car for me and Grimo just came absolutely perfectly. But then I kind of started on the softs, and I just thought I'll go on the hards, see if I can take them to the end. But obviously, then if there's a safety car or another 2 safety cars, I've got a couple of mediums to come out on. Maybe if I went on the softs at the end, I might have had a bit more of a chance. But for me, the softs kind of went off, kind of like around about lap 8 kind of thing. So I just thought, if I'm pushing them a bit hard, I just thought I might just end up kind of coming off. So very, very happy with my result. I wouldn't have made any difference whether I got 3 penalty points or not, because I just couldn't catch them in front. I was just kind of, I was just hoping for something to happen, to be fair. Well, not hoping, but hoping.
Fair enough. Of course, I do have to ask you, because both starts you got away fantastically. What was the secret there?
I'm not telling you. Well, if I told you, everyone will be doing it, won't they? So sorry about that.
You know what? That's fair enough. I'll accept that for an answer. In terms of the 2 safety cars we experienced throughout the race, would there any change to your strategy that brought that on?
Yeah, I was just going to go. Originally, I was going to go for softs to mediums to the end if there was no safety cars, but obviously it's Australia, so that's why I kind of started on the softs, because I kind of didn't know, but there was probably a 70 to 80% chance that there was going to be a safety car within the first 10 laps. So I kind of went with that. Then I thought, well, I'll go into hards then, kind of thing, and which I did. And then obviously there was another safety car, so you might as well go on to, as you said, you might as well go on to kind of fresh tyres. And then obviously that just took me to the end. But no, very quick racing. Really, really enjoyed it. Happy days.
Definitely, we enjoyed watching on from the commentary box as well. Last question for you. We'll, of course, looking towards next week in Azerbaijan. Looking forward to that as a race.
No, I can't stand Azerbaijan. I can't stand it at all. It just doesn't like me at all. I like the track. It just doesn't like me. So I'll just, if I get in the top 10, I'll be kind of pretty happy. Like.
Looking to take some points and get out then. Fair enough. All right. Well, congratulations on the podium finish. Hopefully there'll be more for you this season. So yeah,
good.
So we'll move on now to our second place finisher, Sniper Hunter, who just comes home runner up today, again over just behind his teammate. Sniper, the others, mate.
Hello.
Right, there we are then. Well, so congratulations on another podium finish. That puts you just 1 point off the championship lead. So yeah, talk us through it, because you got quite swallowed up on the start, didn't you?
I mean, my qualifying wasn't great, but I got lucky when the rain came out. And then I was on race start, and I just needed a good start because I was on mediums. I get halfway to turn 1 and I've got no force feedback.
Oh, wow.
In that quick move, I'm trying to fix the issue, and I see 2 cars in the sandwiches and pushes on the grass. I get the issue fixed towards the end of the lap. I'm in P11 and the AI's used half my battery. But other than that, it was a good recovery drive. Safety cars helped.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed watching it from the commentary box there. So very, very exciting stuff. Of course, the late stuff with Gremio was quite exciting. So was there any plans to go for the win there?
Well, I mean, I was trying to go for the win, but Grumio was just so quick tonight, and I was on 2 warnings. So I decided I'll send it once and try to get Zach a short. But after that, I'll give up and try to just keep ahead of Websy.
Well, you definitely... We caught it on stream, so you got me a short there. So we'll hopefully see that later on in the week when I get my lazy ass round to it. Yeah, so one thing I did want to ask, because I noticed this. I wasn't sure if this was an intentional move or not, but Grumio seems to be... especially going down the second DRS straight, he seemed to be a lot slower than you were on that straight. Was he lifting at any point? Do you know? Was there teamwork in play there?
No, that was not teamwork. I think that was just Slipstream being strong in this game. I mean, it might have been teamwork, but I think Grumio's so quick and he had so much battery that if he wanted to stay ahead, he would have.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he had a lot in surplus going on to the last lap, and he had about 70% at the start of the lap, and he had about 5% when it was over. So he used all of it to try and get away from you there. Last question, same thing I asked Websy. Azerbaijan next week, we're looking to try and take the championship lead back?
I don't expect much. I hate the track, but you never know. The castle section is fun, so I might see me up at the front.
Fair enough. We'll have to wait and see then, and we'll see if you can try and keep close in the championship fight, give us a bit of action. So yeah, well done on the podium once again, and we'll bring things over to our last interview for the night, which is Evil Scotsman. So congratulations, mate. I don't think I've interviewed you before, but yeah, you had a good race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, first stint was kind of terrible. Car didn't feel right on the tyres. I don't know, the softs just wouldn't come into temperature, I don't think. Ended up having a spin. Went for the hards when the first safety car came out, and then I had another moment like halfway through where I spun and put it in the wall, lost the wing. Luckily another safety car came out, let me put the softs on with 9 laps to go, and yeah, the second stint on the softs seemed to be a lot better than the first. So finally got some points at last.
Definitely good to see some points on the board for Aston Martin. Are those the first of many points we'll see this season?
I'm hoping so. I've got some new hardware, I've got a new wheel and stuff, so hopefully everything's on the way up now.
Hopefully indeed. So yeah, you said about the safety cars, did that have any change to your strategy at all, or is it more or less the routine all the way through?
Yeah, definitely changed my strategy. I wouldn't have finished where I was if those safety cars never came out, so that played a big role in my race.
Fair enough. The last question I'll ask you is same thing I asked the other two about Azerbaijan next week. You looking forward to Baku?
I hate it. You'll probably find me in the gift shop in the castle section. I always seem to put it in the wall there. We get lots of practice in and try not to do that though.
Seems to be very unanimous. It seems like everyone hates Baku, if I'm being honest. Baku as a circuit, obviously not Azerbaijan as a country. We won't go into that. We won't make it political, so no worries. Well, good. Congratulations on the points, and hopefully we'll see you back in the next week.
Yep, hopefully.
So that'll be the interviews all sorted. So Websy and Evil Scotsman, you guys are completely free to go. So enjoy your evenings, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you back here next week. Right then, so we'll cap off the stream there, Pope. Before I make things any more controversial, any final thoughts before we wrap things off?
Not particularly. I'm just very glad that race was an enjoyable watch. My speculations at the beginning of the stream where I was a bit unsure of how it would turn out, but it was very enjoyable watch, and I think Azerbaijan's just going to be just as good. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to showing you all these tracks from a commentator perspective, because I know you got several years of driving under your belt, but the spectator standpoint is quite a different matter, if I'm being honest. So yeah, so regardless, guys, that'll be it for this stream. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for future audio content, including every single moment of the season and any shorts we come up with over the course of the next week or so, to keep an eye out. So from myself and Pope, it's good night, goodbye, and we'll see you the same place next week on the 24th of July at 7 PM on this very same channel for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Have a good evening, guys, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.